Imagine a world where compassion is our first instinct, where understanding bridges every divide, and where the pursuit of happiness is not just individual but collective. A world where a leader, regardless of title, sees the beauty in our differences and brings us together to create a future of peace. This is not a dream, this is the vision being brought to life today. As we delve into the powerful message of King Charles' outreach to the Muslim community, think about your own role in building a more inclusive, harmonious world. Let's explore how each of us can make a difference. When we think about leadership, we often look for qualities like strength, decisiveness, and authority. But true leadership, especially in today's world, requires something more. It requires compassion. It requires an understanding of people not as they are in a moment, but as they are in their journey. And this is where King Charles stands out. His leadership is not just about being in power. It's about the power to bring people together, to inspire unity and understanding. King Charles has spent decades championing the causes that speak to the core of human dignity: climate change, social justice, and most importantly, the idea that we are all part of one global family. His actions go beyond words. They reflect a deep and unwavering belief in inclusivity, compassion, and empathy. We all know that life is challenging. We face moments of doubt, struggle, and uncertainty. But what gives us hope in those times? It's when we see leaders who lead with heart, leaders who inspire us to lift each other up, to care about the world beyond our own immediate circle. King Charles has shown us that true leadership isn't just about leading from the front. It's about leading from a place of love and respect for all people, regardless of background, belief, or status. In a world filled with noise, division, and conflict, we need more leaders who embrace compassion. And this doesn't just apply to kings or politicians, it applies to each of us. What does it look like to lead with compassion in our own lives? It means making space for others, showing kindness in our daily interactions, and reminding ourselves that happiness isn't just found in our individual success, but in the collective good. So as we move forward, let's remember that leadership with compassion isn't just a lofty ideal, it's a call to action. In today's divided world, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Unity isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. We often hear about the differences that separate us: race, religion, nationality. But what if, instead of focusing on what sets us apart, we turned our attention to what unites us? This is the power of interfaith dialogue. It's not just about sharing beliefs, it's about creating understanding, building bridges, and fostering connections that transcend the barriers we've constructed around ourselves. King Charles has long been a strong advocate for interfaith dialogue, and this commitment speaks volumes about his vision for the world. In his eyes, religion isn't something to be feared or misunderstood. It's an opportunity to learn, grow, and find common ground. His efforts aren't about changing anyone's beliefs. They're about showing us that, at our core, we all seek the same things: peace, love, and happiness. Imagine the impact on your own life if you made a conscious effort to engage with others whose perspectives and beliefs differ from yours. What would it feel like to break down the walls of ignorance and misunderstanding, to connect with people on a deeper level? Happiness, real and lasting happiness, often comes when we look beyond our own experiences and see the world through the eyes of others. Now, I know this might sound like an impossible task in a world that often seems to thrive on division, but it's not. The truth is, we all have the power to change the narrative, to make dialogue a priority over debate, compassion over conflict, and when we do, we create a life where happiness isn't just a fleeting moment, but a consistent reality. So take a moment. Consider how you can open your heart, engage in meaningful conversations, and embrace the beauty of our shared humanity. It's not just about changing the world, it's about transforming your own life. In a world that often feels divided by cultural and religious differences, there's a profound power in respect. Respect doesn't mean agreement, it means understanding. It's about recognizing the value in each culture, each tradition, and each individual. King Charles's respect for Islamic culture is a powerful reminder of this truth. It's a truth that goes beyond tolerance It's about genuine appreciation for the contributions that every culture has made to our collective human experience. Islamic culture is rich with history, knowledge, and beauty, ranging from art and architecture to philosophy and science. For centuries, the Islamic world has been a leader in preserving knowledge, advancing medicine, and shaping global civilization. King Charles sees the significance of this. He doesn't just acknowledge the importance of Islamic culture, he actively honors it. This isn't just about diplomacy or strategy. It's about cultivating a deeper sense of shared humanity, where different cultures are celebrated, not feared. Now, let's take a moment to think about your own life. How often do you take the time to learn about cultures outside your own? How often do you take a step back to acknowledge the richness that diversity brings to the world? You might be surprised by the sense of fulfillment and happiness that comes from broadening your horizons and understanding the beautiful tapestry of global culture. When we respect and appreciate cultures that differ from our own, we open ourselves to greater connection, deeper wisdom, and ultimately, a richer life. It's this very respect that allows us to build lasting, meaningful relationships across divides. It's this respect that turns our individual pursuits of happiness into a shared journey. So let's embrace the beauty of diversity. Let's respect what we may not understand, and let's build a world where true happiness isn't just a personal achievement, but a collective reality. We live in a world where challenges seem to arise daily. Climate change, political instability, economic inequality. These are not just issues we hear about on the news. They're problems that affect our daily lives, our communities, and the future of our children. So what does it take to overcome these challenges? It takes unity. It takes the collective strength of people coming together, putting aside differences, and working toward a common goal. This is where the importance of building global alliances comes into play, and King Charles recognizes this better than most. King Charles's outreach to the Muslim community is not just about a cultural connection, it's a strategic move toward addressing some of the world's most pressing problems. He understands that global challenges require global solutions. No single nation, community, or individual can tackle these issues alone. It requires collaboration, trust, and shared purpose. By engaging with the Muslim community and building partnerships, King Charles is sending a message that we must stand together to solve the issues that affect all of humanity. Take a moment to think about your own life. When challenges arise, whether personal or professional, how often do you try to go it alone? We all know the weight of carrying a burden by ourselves, but when we open ourselves to collaboration, the load becomes lighter. We become stronger together. The same principle applies to global challenges. In a world so interconnected, isolation is no longer an option. To create a world where happiness, peace, and prosperity thrive for all, we need to build alliances, support one another, and actively work together towards solutions. This isn't just a political or diplomatic effort. It's a call for each of us to ask, how can we contribute to the greater good? How can we move beyond our own concerns and connect with others in a way that uplifts everyone? True happiness doesn't come from individual success. It comes from a world that thrives together. The time to act is now, and it begins with us choosing to build bridges, not walls. In our fast-paced, individualistic world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of personal goals. We work hard to achieve success, hoping that it will bring us happiness and fulfillment. But what if the key to true happiness isn't found in isolation, but in the connections we build with others? What if the greatest fulfillment comes not from what we accomplish alone, but from the communities we nurture around us? King Charles understands this deeply. His efforts to connect with the Muslim community are more than just gestures of goodwill. They are intentional steps toward building stronger, more cohesive communities. Communities where people feel valued, heard, and supported. In a world where loneliness is at an all-time high, these connections have never been more crucial. Think about your own life for a moment. How often do you feel truly connected to the people around you? Do you take time to engage, to listen, and to understand the needs of others? Building a community is not just about proximity. It's about creating spaces where people feel like they belong, where relationships are built on trust, and where shared values foster a sense of collective purpose. When we invest in our communities, we open the door to deeper happiness. Strong communities provide support when we need it. They celebrate our successes, and they lift us up when we fall. But community building isn't just about receiving, it's about giving. It's about showing up, being present, and offering a helping hand, just as King Charles has done in his outreach to the Muslim community. So I urge you to reflect on your own role in building the communities you're a part of. How can you contribute to fostering deeper, more meaningful connections with those around you? The happiest lives are often those that are surrounded by a network of people who care, who collaborate, and who thrive together. Let's make that a reality in our own lives starting today. In a world where differences often divide us, King Charles stands as a beacon of what can be accomplished when we choose to celebrate diversity instead of fearing it. We are constantly reminded of the things that set us apart, our backgrounds, our beliefs, our cultures. But what if, instead of viewing these differences as barriers, we recognized them as sources of strength? What if our diversity became the foundation upon which we build a better, more inclusive world? King Charles has made it his mission to champion diversity in all its forms. His efforts go beyond merely accepting differences. They are about actively embracing them, recognizing that true progress comes when we make space for people from all walks of life. This is more than just a moral stance. It's an invitation to all of us to look beyond surface-level differences and appreciate the richness that each individual brings to the table. Think for a moment about the richness that diversity brings to your own life. Whether it's learning from someone with a different perspective or connecting with people from different cultural backgrounds, these experiences expand our understanding and open our hearts. In a society that often emphasizes conformity, the courage to champion diversity offers us something more: joy, fulfillment, and growth. It's about tapping into the wisdom and insights that can only come when we allow people to show up as their authentic selves, unapologetically. Diversity, at its core, is the key to unlocking a life full of happiness. When we engage with different ideas, perspectives, and cultures, we enrich our own lives in ways that would be impossible in a homogeneous world. So, how will you embrace diversity in your own life? How will you seek out opportunities to learn, to connect, and to grow through the differences around you? The happiest, most fulfilled lives are those that recognize the strength found in diversity, and that's the world we should all strive to create. The world is changing, we can all feel it. The pace of progress, the evolution of societal values, and the growing awareness that inclusivity isn't just a nice idea, but a necessity for a thriving, harmonious world. Now picture this: a leader, a monarch even, who is not only aware of this shift, but actively works to embody it. King Charles is exactly that leader. His political shift towards inclusivity reflects a new vision of leadership, one that prioritizes unity, understanding, and the collective well-being of all people, regardless of race, religion, or background. This shift is not just a response to changing times, it's an active decision to lead with compassion, to ensure that every voice is heard, and to bridge divides rather than reinforce them. King Charles understands that the monarchy, once seen as a symbol of tradition and separation, can now serve as a beacon of inclusivity in a rapidly diversifying world. His actions signal to us that inclusivity is not just a trend, it's the way forward. Take a moment to think about your own life. We all want to live in a world where differences are celebrated, not feared, where we look beyond labels and see people for who they truly are. This desire for inclusivity starts with each of us. When we make space for others, when we seek to understand before judging, we not only contribute to a more harmonious world, but also open ourselves to richer, more meaningful experiences. The world is evolving, and we all have a part to play in that evolution. King Charles's approach reminds us that happiness is not about exclusion or division. It's about coming together to build a future where everyone feels valued and understood. Are you ready to embrace that shift in your own life? Are you ready to lead with inclusivity, to build a world where happiness isn't just for a few, but for all? The time for change is now, and it starts with us. In every community, there are individuals who carry the responsibility of guiding others toward peace, tolerance, and understanding. These leaders, often quietly working behind the scenes, play a pivotal role in shaping the values of society. Muslim leaders in particular have been powerful agents of positive change in their communities and beyond. They are often the first to stand up against injustice, to speak out for unity, and to teach the principles of compassion and mutual respect. King Charles recognizes the immense value of these leaders, not just in their own communities, but in the larger global context. Through his outreach to the Muslim community, he acknowledges that these leaders are crucial to creating a world built on mutual respect and understanding. They are not just religious figures. They are pillars of peace, working tirelessly to bridge divides and promote a culture of harmony. Think for a moment about the role of leadership in your own life. We all encounter individuals who inspire us, guide us, and remind us of the importance of kindness and understanding. These leaders don't need to wear titles or robes. They can be anyone, a mentor, a teacher, a friend, but the impact they have is immeasurable. Muslim leaders in particular have worked throughout history to foster tolerance and peace, offering wisdom that transcends religious boundaries. When we recognize the value of these leaders and their contributions to global harmony, we open ourselves up to deeper connections and richer, more fulfilling experiences. True happiness is often rooted in understanding, and these leaders provide the tools to build bridges in an increasingly divided world. So the question we must ask ourselves is this: how can we become leaders of peace in our own lives? How can we step up to foster greater understanding and contribute to the global effort of creating a world where happiness and unity thrive for all? In every generation, the youth are the torchbearers of change. They are the dreamers, the doers, and the disruptors. But too often, we fail to recognize just how crucial it is to engage and empower the younger generation. King Charles understands this deeply, which is why a significant part of his outreach to the Muslim community involves engaging with young people. He knows that the future is in their hands and that they must be part of the conversation today to create a more harmonious world tomorrow. Youth engagement is not just about giving young people a voice. It's about giving them the tools, opportunities, and support they need to shape the future with wisdom, compassion, and a sense of purpose. King Charles recognizes that if we are to address global challenges like climate change, inequality, and conflict, it is the younger generation that must lead the charge. They bring fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and an unwavering passion for justice and equality. When we fail to engage with them, we risk losing the very energy that can fuel real change. Now, think about your own experiences as a young person. What was it that inspired you? What drove you to become the person you are today? Were you given opportunities to lead, to make a difference, to stand up for what you believe in? Every one of us has a role to play in encouraging the next generation to take the reins. When we engage with young people, we offer them a path forward that's filled with purpose and possibility. Happiness doesn't just come from what we achieve as individuals. It comes from knowing we've contributed to something greater than ourselves. By investing in the younger generation and supporting their voices, we not only shape a brighter future, but also ensure that happiness, justice, and peace are part of the world they inherit. The question is, what can you do to help empower the next generation today? In a world that often feels divided by ideology, faith, and belief systems, there is a power we must embrace: religious tolerance. Tolerance is not just about allowing people to practice their faiths in peace. It's about respecting and honoring the differences that make us unique and recognizing the shared humanity that binds us all. King Charles's growing relationship with the Muslim community is a clear reflection of his commitment to fostering a world where religious tolerance is not just a concept, but a lived reality. Religious tolerance is essential, especially in today's climate, where tensions and misunderstandings can create fear and division. But tolerance doesn't come easily. It takes conscious effort. It requires us to move beyond stereotypes and preconceived notions. King Charles is leading by example, showing us that real leadership is about bringing people together across religious lines to promote peace and mutual respect. His commitment to building bridges between different faith communities is not just a political move. It's a profound act of empathy and understanding. Consider your own life for a moment. We all have differences, whether in belief, culture, or background. Yet when we choose to embrace those differences, rather than shy away from them, we create a space where understanding can thrive. Tolerance isn't just about avoiding conflict. It's about actively seeking out ways to connect with others, to learn from them, and to build a future where we all have the freedom to practice our beliefs in peace. Happiness, true and lasting happiness, comes from a world where we can coexist with respect and kindness. When we choose tolerance, we create an environment where people feel seen, heard, and valued. The question is, are you ready to take part in that future? Are you willing to make tolerance the foundation of your own happiness and contribute to a more peaceful, compassionate world? King Charles' outreach to the Muslim community and his commitment to compassion, inclusivity, and respect serve as a powerful example of leadership that transcends traditional boundaries. His efforts remind us that happiness and peace aren't just individual pursuits, but collective goals that require unity, understanding, and respect for diversity. As we move forward, let us each ask ourselves, how can we contribute to a world where compassion, collaboration, and tolerance lead the way? Thank you all for your time and attention. May you be inspired to embrace the values of empathy and understanding in your own lives. Good luck on your journey toward a happier, more fulfilling future.